No, there really wasn't any indication. There wasn't anything, you know, that morning that was any different than any other morning that I embarked on a run. You know, I had been anticipating the marathon all weekend long. The alarm clock rang at probably 4 a.m. So up I got and showered and got ready for the race. And we drove from the house to the starting line, and we were running late. And so we parked the car and basically ran from the car in to check our bag and ran to the starting line, gave each other a kiss and said, "We'll see you later."
So we ran separately. It was a warm day. I never saw her again, and when I crossed the finish line, my running coach grabbed me and said, you know, Alaina had collapsed, and I didn't really know what that meant. Did she just work too hard? Did she faint? Then he told me she had gotten shocked, and I still didn't know what that meant.
Well, I don't remember the second half of the marathon. I remember the first half, and then the next thing I woke up and it was terrifying. I had no idea where I was or how I got there, but all of my family was around me and kind of just provided comfort. And so I knew that I was okay, but it still didn't give me answers on how I got there, nor had I had any kind of previous indication that I was susceptible to anything like that. So, I mean, it was a complete shock to just wake up and have some shocking news. You know, it's like waking out of a sleep and someone tells you, "Oh, by the way, you've been asleep for 3 or 4 days and you almost died in the meantime."
It turns out that she has a coronary artery that comes off the wrong side of her heart, that it's a congenital abnormality, something that she was born with, but up until this time had not caused a problem. She's a poster child for the person, and this could be literally true, for this kind of heart disease, that the person who is in absolutely wonderful shape, who exercises, who eats well, who has very few risk factors for heart disease, and therefore would commonly not consider heart disease as a risk. But then to have been in the right place and been close enough to medical care, because this occurred during the marathon rather than during a practice run, that she did survive, and she was able to be brought over. We even used some kind of advanced techniques where she had temporarily, we dropped her body temperature in order to protect her brain. And so it was a very exciting moment when she woke up and asked her time. How long did I run? Was a sign that everything was okay inside her skull.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly what would have happened if there weren't people around, and if it wasn't a good medical staff and somebody who knew, you know, how to perform CPR, or if there wasn't a defibrillator present. I mean, I'm sure that the outcome would have been very different, and that I probably wouldn't be here. I have an ICD, so I feel like that's kind of my security blanket to go out and do the things that I want to do, and not to be afraid of what might happen because of it. The ICD is implanted in my chest, and it's basically a device that, should anything happen and should my heart stop, it's basically a built-in defibrillator that will give me a little jump start when needed. It also serves some other purposes. If it needs to serve as a pacemaker, it will.
Well, there's no doubt that Alaina has a competitive spirit, and the fact that I think that drive to win, drive to succeed, was part of her surviving what was a real marathon medically. I mean, she went through a lot of things and had complications and difficulties in a longer course than she would have chosen, of course, but she persevered. And I think that it is that drive to be successful and to succeed. And the only time I've heard her complain is that she feels she's running a little more slowly now.
Again, she's a fighter. She encourages people, she inspires people to live a better life and to be a better person.
I do still run. It's still what I enjoy to do. It makes me happy. And I physically am able to run, so I don't really have a reason why not.
This feeling that you can't fight, the city
still had the breathing tube in my mouth, so I couldn't speak. I wrote down on the piece of paper, "Did I beat you?" And he said, "Yeah, you kicked my ass."
Please tell me what there's to complain about.